got money, right? God is using me. He's breaking me down, removing all of the, richest person, all of this, so I can serve him. And the more and more those things are taken away from me, the more I can be empty and be a vessel and be able to be used. And right now, it's like, you're not going to take, if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost, but I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys, you guys want to bring that stuff up, and then think we're not going to.
As you can see by that clip, that's the topic of discussion today. Usually I don't partake in gossip and useless diatribe on my channel, but it seems that the underlying issue at hand deserves for serious discussion. I'm not a fan of Kanye West or Nick Fuentes or Milo Yiannopoulos or Tim Pool or Donald Trump or anybody from the left because I am not a left or right pundit and I don't vote. I don't vote for criminals. I think the system is criminal. Nevertheless, the issue at hand is whether or not Jews run Hollywood or that Jews run the music industry. And it's not as simple as that, to be honest with you. Are there powerful Jews in these industries? Of course. But do they actually run the industries? No. And even though that they are quite a minority in these avenues, they do hold a lot of influence. That's not anti-Semitic. It's actually a statement of fact. But Kanye West is dealing with the issue incorrectly and badly incorrect. And what I want to do is try and give a little bit of a clearer picture, a more rational picture about the issue, not just with Kanye West, but with the issue at hand about talking about the issue of Israelis in these entities of the entertainment industry, of the music industry, of Hollywood, and of course, more importantly, our foreign policy, something that is completely being hijacked, for a lesser or better term, by anti-Semites or anti-Jews. I don't like to use anti-Semites, anti-Jews, because they pick on Jews specifically. And what I want to do is talk about Kanye West in the beginning. Now, I'm not going to get into a whole biography about Kanye West. For those who aren't living on the moon, Kanye West is an influential rapper, considered one of the most influential hip hop artists of the age. And even though I don't listen to his music, I used to listen to hip hop back in the mid 1980s. KRS-One, Public Enemy, and my favorite, Cool G Rap and DJ Polo. Those days are over, and I haven't listened to rap since like 2002 or something like that. So nevertheless, he's a very influential entertainer. I believe he's a billionaire even. I'm not too sure if he's a billionaire, but you know, when you are a very influential entertainer, hip hop artist, and music producer, Kanye West is exactly probably one of the most successful. However, his life has been in turmoil for the last 20 years. And one of the issues regarding Kanye West is that he grew up very close to his mother. And when his mother passed away, I think in 2000, in 2006, I don't hold me to that. I think she passed away in 2006. Like I said, I'm not too sure, but it really affected him. And because of this, he basically went on a downward spiral, so to speak, mentally. And he's always been an outspoken and controversial entertainer, celebrity throughout his whole career, even going back to the 1990s. And a lot of people, some of you are younger folk that's following the story of Kanye West, don't realize how controversial Kanye West was and currently is. During one issue, and I'm going to share this video with you, came from a I think it was like a concert of sorts. And I want to say in 2005, it was a concert. That's right. It was a concert for Hurricane Katrina. And it was called a concert for hurricane relief. I want to say a concert for Hurricane Katrina. It was a concert for hurricane relief, and it was hosted on ABC. No, I'm sorry, NBC. And he deviated from the prepared script to criticize the media's portrayal of the African American community, which, by the way, is true, because under the Bush administration, and this is for the public record. So, you go to any YouTube video and put in Hurricane Katrina aftermath, you'll see that the most affected population was the African American community, the poorer community, that Bush took days, even weeks, to assist. Mayor Ray Nagin came under complete fire. In fact, he was heralded as the mayor of America at one point, but he came under his own controversies later on. So when this script happened, Kanye West did this.
Has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
And as you can see with the shock of what's his name's face, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, that's the slightest of controversies. Even though I think his attitude here is warranted. Nevertheless, you could see the beginning stages of a very unpredictable individual. And then in 2008, Kanye West was widely ridiculed on South Park, calling him the voice of the generation. And slowly but surely, we started seeing a change in Kanye West's demeanor and psychology. And in 2013, Kanye West was rebuked by human rights groups for performing in Kazakhstan, which was at the time, one of the poorest human rights records in the world. and went to the president, went to the, the wedding of the authoritarian president, Nurasang Nazarbayev, and it was his grandson's wedding, not his wedding. West was paid $3 million for this performance, even though at the time, Kazakhstan, which heavily restricted freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of worship. And in 2014, under Nurasbayev's authoritarian regime, they cracked down on dissidents, newspapers that were critical of him, and it was just a terrible situation for the country. Nevertheless, Kanye West was criticized for appearing at his grandson's wedding and for being paid for it. And, you know, he's had previously participated in boycotts, cultural boycotts, joining groups like Rage Against the Machine, Shakira, in refusing to perform in Arizona after the 2010 implementation of stop and search laws, which were directed against minorities and illegal aliens. By the way, this happened under the Obama administration, by the way, and this is going to become a very big point with Kanye West, is the issue of Barack Obama. But this didn't stop. And in February 2016, Kanye West became embroiled in a controversy when he posted a tweet seemingly asserting Bill Cosby's innocence after the wake of over 50 women alleging that he sexually assaulted them. His degradation toward women in general became more noticeable. In 2018, he caused huge controversy when he said, quote, and this is coming from TMZ in an article dated October 27, 2022, quote, "When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. You were there for 400 years, and it's all of y'all. It's like we're mentally imprisoned." End quote. But not only that, there have been, controversial statements made regarding homophobia. And one such issue came upon Billboard magazine. Kanye West 2005 interview about hip-hop homophobia resurfaces after DaBaby controversy, in which Kanye West interview from more than 15 years ago resurfaced following the backlash to DaBaby's homophobic comments at Rolling Loud Miami last month. And as you could see, in the August 2005 interview with MTV News, Sway Calloway, the 22-time Grammy winner, passionately defended the LGBT community and calls out discrimination. West also revealed that in high school, people would often use the word gay as an insult and frequently asked if he was gay, which made him feel homophobic, because I was like, damn, why does everybody walk like this and I walk like this? So you could see, like, his psychology is shaped by what other people perceive him to be. This is the reason why he's always constantly around other people. He hates being alone, isolated. He garners feedback from other people's perception of him. Constant controversy throughout his entertainment career. Constant controversy regarding his actions toward the public. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, this guy has an issue regarding how he deals with people, especially people that are intertwined with the music industry, not directly in the music industry, entwined in industry. For example, people that work in media. And in this article from Hip Hop Magazine, Kanye West evades assault charge and fan punching incident outside Hotel Hollywood. And, according to TMZ, there is not enough evidence to secure a guilty verdict. After a thorough and careful review of the evidence, but officers declined to file based on no reasonable likelihood of conviction. This guy has a history of hitting cameramen and people that are asking for pictures or autographs. And sometimes, and that's not all the time, but sometimes it's not a common occurrence, but he does have violent tendencies. And where does that come from? Well, it comes from what I believe to be that he has an issue with bipolar disorder. And I would say that he does suffer from now depression. I wouldn't say he's a manic depressant, but he could certainly get there. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I studied psychology at the University of City College of New York. And that's been over 20 years, but I could tell what certain people exude in their personality. And this actually helps me in my course with 9/11, how I can study certain individuals and talk about certain issues relating to their persona. And this all comes with all this criticism is now blamed on his issue with Jews. And this is not recent, by the way. His anti-Semitism started probably during 2013, according to the public record. And what do I mean by that? Well, according to the Huffington Post, back in 2013, and I'll share the article with you. This is dated December 15, 2013. Kanye West week includes accusations of anti-Semitism, weak attendance at Kansas City gig. Kanye West is not having the greatest week. First, the 36-year-old rapper was accused of anti-Semitism for remarks he made during a radio interview with New York hip-hop station Power 105.1, in which he says, quote, "Man, let me tell you something about George Bush and oil money and Obama and no money." West said on the November 26, 2013, during the interview. People want to say Obama can't make these moves or he's not executing. That's because he ain't got those connections. Black people don't have the same level of connections as Jewish people. Black people don't have the same connections as oil people, end quote. Now, you may look at that issue and say, well, it's not really a big issue. Maybe he misstepped. But, it's a common occurrence because it's not the first time. Now, as of recently, we have been seeing, stuff like his criticism of Jews in general. And what did this lead to regarding his issues with Jews? And why is it that he continues to go down this road regarding his issue with Jewish people in general? And is it because his faith, because he's a Christian, or is it something else? Now, everybody knows about the recent tweet that was made months ago, and in which it's now deleted because you can see it's violated Twitter rules, but it says, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people." The funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. That was a really big mark in where he's actually being directed now. Now, because of this tweet, he garnered the wrong attention. And when I mean wrong, I'm talking about the wrong crowd. And I'm talking about nationalists who hijacked the term anti-Zionist. That's like, for me, if I look at people like Jason Burmis or Alex Jones and they say they're 9/11 truthers, they're far from it. They're hobbyists. They're not serious in regards to the study 9/11. Nick Fuentes, for example, is a groyper. He's a nationalist. He's a racist. And he's also somebody that isn't taken seriously in academia. No one's inviting Nick Fuentes to speak along Norman Finkelstein, for example, Milo Yiannopoulos is another twisted groyper. He's all of a sudden now a nationalist. He also claims to denounce homosexuality. Nevertheless, his sexuality wasn't the issue. His issue is where he's going now. So he too is criticizing Jews for being too influential in the entertainment industry, music industry, foreign policy. And he, along with Nick Fuentes, no one's inviting them to speak at conferences. Miko Peled is not speaking with Milo Yiannopoulos, for example. And so right off the bat, these guys have suddenly taken the issue, serious issues of like Israel involving themselves in US politics, which is a real issue and a dangerous one, and an issue that needs serious discussion because it costs people's lives. But because of this, and because of people like Norman Finkelstein or Alison Weir or Miko Peled, right? Those people who have been speaking out on criminality by Israel government for years have never gotten the attention as what Nick Fuentes and Milo Yiannopoulos and Kanye West have gotten in 24 hours. Why is that? Well, that's because people in the entertainment industry, media industry, are directly looking at these people and saying, you see, anybody who criticizes Israel in these regards are always going to be linked to them, just like in the same way as I or Nelson Martins or Ryan Dawson or others who criticize or implicate the government in involving maybe malfeasance or foreknowledge regarding the 9/11 attacks will always be chain linked forever with the likes of Alex Jones and Jason Bermas and Barbara Honegger and the other, unserious people. And that's exactly what it was meant to do. Take serious people who bring serious issues to the forefront and trying to do it. And the media ignores them and instead focuses on the people who have a lot of controversy and mental disorders in their own right. And, these issues basically, just keep coming. And Kanye West is certainly someone who can't be taken seriously. I mean, he just can't. And, this is not the first time. I mean, his actions speak louder than words. And who remembers when he went to I think it was I forgot the name of the award show, that he was on and interfered with Taylor Swift's award. And, let's play that.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
I mean, God's sakes. I mean, why would he do that? Well, he wants to be the center of attention. He needs to be at the center of a group of people. I'm bringing an issue up. I wouldn't say he's a narcissist. He doesn't exhibit those traits, but he certainly exhibits traits of bipolar disorder. And sure enough, in 2016, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And, this came from, not me saying it, but this was quoted in an article by the Los Angeles Times about these issues. Authorities spent 2 hours persuading Kanye West to be hospitalized. This happened in 2016. And it took 2 hours for authorities and friends to persuade Kanye West to go to a hospital after receiving a call that the rapper was acting erratically Monday at the residence of his personal trainer. 2 sources involved in the case said. And, this comes at the fact that, in November 19, 2016, he was at a concert which ended prematurely. And he said, quote, "Jay-Z, call me, bro. You ain't still call me. I know you got killers. Please don't send them at my head. Just call me. Talk to me like a man." End quote. He walked off the stage. And the following day, he was committed to UCLA Medical Center with bouts of hallucinations and paranoia. And that's where the article talks about. And he was diagnosed with temporary psychosis caused by dehydration and sleep deprivation. And he had to cancel 21 concerts. And throughout the stay at the hospital, his wife was, Kim Kardashian, was at his side. Now, Kim Kardashian, she's got her own problems. But this is from Entertainment Tonight, November 28, 2016. And as you could see here, it's been 1 week since Kanye West was admitted to UCLA Medical Center, where he remains hospitalized as wife Kim Kardashian vigilantly supports him. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Now, does that make him a liar regarding the issues at hand? No. Does he embellish? Probably so. And it's only because of the people that he surrounds himself with. Now, if he had an issue with Jews or Israel about a specific subject, let's say the entertainment industry, they're trying to undermine his career, why would you go to groypers like Milo Yiannopoulos and Nick Fuentes, knowing full well about what they're about? Was it about getting hits, getting views? Well, he went to the right people. But if it was about serious discussion about the issue of Jews being influential in the entertainment industry, why would you go to them? As you could see, the media has crushed Nick Fuentes and Milo Yiannopoulos. For what reason? Well, as of late, Trump talks with White Nationalist Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago dinner. Now, Donald Trump needs no introduction about controversy behind him. But when you have pictures like Nick Fuentes standing alongside this guy, who is the biggest, I think, intentional psyop of all, Alex Jones, who has caused more harm than good. Same as this guy. President Trump dined and conversed with White Nationalist Nick Fuentes and rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, at his Mar-a-Lago resort on Tuesday night. As you can see, the media is not very kind to Nick Fuentes. And his videos, which there are many backlogged and cataloged, calling out homophobia, that he's a white nationalist, he's proud of it. Sometimes he trolls, sometimes he's serious. So, you don't know whether to take him serious or not. Why would you want to be around this individual regarding such a topic? Now, I don't know how much influence Jews have in the entertainment industry, nor do I care. To me, it's a non-issue for me personally. Maybe not a non-issue for Kanye West. He's involved, obviously, in the entertainment industry. But they do have a heavy influence in American politics and geopolitics. And this is an issue I raise, and I try to be very careful because I know that this is a very, very taboo subject. And so it needs to be dealt with seriously. And that's why I don't just go and do interviews with certain people. I don't interview most people because I vet everybody who wants to talk with me or who I want to talk with. Because it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, which only takes seconds to destroy. And regarding this subject, you had better be 100% right. Because if you're going to lead with your heart and not with your head, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And in this case with Kanye West, and especially from what we have saw in the Tim Pool episode, who I'm no fan of, by the way, regarding Kanye West and the issues of Israel or the Jews in general in the entertainment industry, as you can see, nobody in that room is taken seriously by anyone in academia and is lambasted by the media. Now that's a given. Anybody who's critical of Israel will be subjugated to harsh criticisms. All you have to do is take a look at Norman Finkelstein and what he had to endure by that ghoul, Alan Dershowitz, who basically tried to ruin his career. But Finkelstein is one of the most respected scholars regarding Israel and foreign politics and what's going on in that country in the world. Kanye West is not. Kanye West has an issue with his controversies that started back in the early 2000s that carried with him to present day. Not only that, he now carries around extra baggage because he started to align himself with notorious gropers like Milo Yiannopoulos and Nick Fuentes. Strike three. He'll never be taken seriously on this issue, no matter how popular he is. And so I think that's the case of Kanye West, unfortunately. And I know he wants to talk about the issue of, Israel being the ills of the world. Well, no, they're not. They are just one country. Yes, they do have an issue of what's going on in their country regarding their government toward Palestinians. And yes, they do have a massive influence in American foreign politics, which relates to how we react toward the Middle East. And look, we're not going to get anywhere if you're going to hang around with people like this. And basically, they come with no reputation whatsoever. So no matter how popular you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter how big of a voice you are, if you're not respected, if you're not taking these issues seriously, and if you're just going to, blame Jews for everything, you're going to be not just taken seriously, but you're going to be crushed by the media. Even independent media will ignore you. But if you have a tight-knit circle of serious people in academia, and you have a real issue at hand, well, guess what? You're going to win the minority voices on your side, because there are people who are victims just like you, Kanye West. If you ever see this video, I doubt it. But you're going to have to make the right decisions. Otherwise, you're going to be an afterthought, and your career is going to be crushed.